was super constipated up until week 10 and now I'm not. Is this a problem? Assalamu alaikum, hey everyone, time for another in the moment talk for me, but by the time you guys see this obviously it's going to be like almost a year later. So it's the 28th of May 2023, as you can see I've got my birthday balloons behind me, and actually they're 28 because I'm 28 now, alhamdulillah. I am posting content in real time but like much slower. Mostly they've been hauls. Yeah, I've like sort of been popping up on Instagram stories here and there, but I've honestly just, I'm still my first trimester and I've honestly just not had the energy for it at all. But I just wanted to have a little bit of a chat of how I'm doing in the moment, because I think it's really important for me personally to reflect and document this for myself. So inshallah, everything goes well, and then the next time around, inshallah, I can look back and it will really be a good, clear, solid reminder that like, yes, this is how things are going, and this too will pass, inshallah. This is like a phase. I think even saying those words I feel bad because I know that it could have been a lot worse, like a lot worse, and I've spoken to women who had much harder first trimesters. So as of now I am 10 weeks plus 1 day. SubhanAllah, like it's amazing. Like there's so many things that amaze me about pregnancy. I knew there was just going to be so much to learn and so much to understand, but I was like, when I'm at that stage, you know, I want to then soak it all in then. But actually when it comes to that stage there's honestly so much to learn, but there's also like so much that you go through that you cannot predict because every body is different, every single pregnancy is different. Apparently some people have like really easy first pregnancies and then their second ones are harder, or the other way around, or different if you're having a girl, or it's different if you're having a boy, or just some people have perfectly fine pregnancies like throughout. Like my mum said that mashallah, alhamdulillah, like her pregnancies were all fine. It's just, it is a lot. By the end of week 9 and the start of week 10, your baby, all their organs have developed, which is incredible, and it's amazing how like in such a short space of time, really, if you look at like the whole grand scheme of things, like in the first 25% of the pregnancy the organs are all in place, subhanallah. In week 10, which is what I'm in now, like they basically say that you need to really make sure you're sucking up your calcium because this is the week baby's bones are really like developing and growing. And I didn't know this as well, babies have a lot more bones than adults because later on like the bones fuse together. So yeah, it's just so much to learn, and it's amazing how your body also craves what you need. So literally the last 3 days all I've been wanting is like cold milk, and I've been having cereal, I've been having literally just like glasses of milk, which I haven't done since I was so young. Lots of milk. I do need to go back to my smoothies. I did buy a £100 blender and I've only made smoothies a handful of times, which Iqra is not very happy about because it's not the money, but he's like, you brought this to try and get your nutrients in and I really want you to make sure you're doing that as much as possible. But food is a weird one, guys. It's so weird, and again it's different for everyone, but for me it's been so frustrating. Like there's been so many times where I've really wanted something and then I've started eating it, I felt ravenous, started eating it, and then got through halfway and not being able to eat anymore even though I want to eat it. And I kid you not, I've been very close, if not have teared up and cried about it, because it's just so frustrating. Like you really want this thing and then you finally having it and then no, your body's like no, and you start feeling like yucky and gross, and it's just, that's been very frustrating for me, honestly. And it hasn't happened too often, like it's not been an everyday regular occurrence, but when it has happened it has really upset me. Like keeping up with my vitamins. Before I got pregnant I was having folic acid gummies, and I'm gonna link them. They're really good. They're really small, which I liked, and I like the texture of them as well, but the only thing is it was just folic acid, there was nothing else in it. So I was having that, and then up until 2 weeks ago where I switched over to mum gummies, which basically have like vitamin D in them, calcium in them, all these other things, and they're vegan, they're halal. However, I really don't like the texture, and they're very big gummies as well. So yeah, I am having them, but I'm not gonna lie, I need to become much more regular with. I have been having them pretty much every day. I think I've skipped 2 days, but to take those ones is just much more of a mission than it was to take the little small folic acid ones. I just feel so yuck in my body right now, and I think Iqra is really picking up on it because, well, first of all, he's losing weight right now, so he's doing like a healthy version of keto, which is good, like for him, because you know the last few times he's done keto was not very healthy, but this time he's actually like having loads of chicken and salad, and like he's dropping weight in much more of a healthy way. And we have a lot of weddings coming up in this next month, in June and July. And I think I've already mentioned this in a video before, but I wasn't particularly happy with my starting weight at the start of my pregnancy, and then everything you read, it's very much like, well, in the first trimester you're not really supposed to gain much weight anyway, and then it's only in the second and third trimester that you're really supposed to increase the amount of calories you're having. But there's two things that like people just, I feel like they have not spoken about very much. You know, when you hear about people talking about pregnancy, the main thing people talk about is nausea and sickness. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. First of all, I have not had any sickness at all, like as in I've never vomited yet. I do have a severe phobia of actual vomiting. I can't remember the last time I was sick, maybe actually vomiting, like it was like years ago, because I don't know, I'm very scared of being sick, and when I see people around me being sick, I pretty much freeze up. I don't really know what to do. I'm just like, oh my god. I like freak out about that. So alhamdulillah, I've not been sick. Nausea I have had, and it was particularly bad, say from like 6 weeks till even last week, up to last week. But then like I got to the end of week 9, and I know it's only been 2 or 3 days, but yeah, nausea has eased up a lot. Constipation kicked my behind for the whole up till 2 or 3 days ago. The whole time I have been so constipated, and I feel like nobody talks about that, but the digestive whole process of the system just completely slows down. And I'm so glad that on my 8-week appointment, the first appointment I had with my midwife, she was like, just go to your GP or go to the pharmacist. There are so many pregnancy safe laxatives you can take, and you do not need to be like suffering through this. Like I know, like obviously she was like, you obviously should be increasing your water, you should be increasing your fibre intake, that's a given, but some people just need that extra help. And I was like, oh my god, okay, thanks. So we literally went to the pharmacy like the next day, because it was genuinely really hard to deal with. Like and usually like constipation, like if you are constipated you have it for like 2 or 3 days, but I'm not kidding, I literally had it for like 7 weeks on repeat, and it was horrendous, and I couldn't sleep, and I'd get incredibly bloated. My stomach would be like out here, just in pain, hard as a rock, super bloated, unable to digest my food, and then just obviously that affected my sleep, and that was horrible. And like just literally the last 2 or 3 days I've not been constipated. I am holding my breath, and I am still drinking my water so regularly. What I find incredible is that like literally yesterday I was reading up on it. This is a weird thing as well, right? So pregnancy symptoms can be super uncomfortable, they can be tedious, they can really affect your day. However, when they go away, that's terrifying. That is terrifying, because you immediately think, is something wrong? Has something gone wrong? And I literally started googling it. I was like, I was super constipated up until week 10, and now I'm not. Is this a problem? And then stuff comes up like, well, if your symptoms are tapering off, then that could be a sign of a miscarriage. And then I'm just like freaking out, like, oh my goodness. Honestly, I feel like, again, that's the other thing that Iqra and I were both saying, was that people don't necessarily talk about like the anxiety that comes with actually the first 12 weeks. And this is the thing as well, is that we're planning to tell our family at 12 weeks, inshallah. I have a really cute idea for telling them. I've ordered it, it's in place. Family and like super close friends. Mainly for me, like I wanted to tell like my 2 close girlfriends who live here in Dundee, just so that when I'm meeting up with them, like they're aware of the situation. I've met up with them both once so far, once or twice, and not been able to eat the same. I've been obviously super bloated, but like luckily I was able to act as normal as I could. But it's just going to be good to just be able to like have it in the open with my really close friends. And then obviously I can't wait to tell like my parents, Guy's family, close family, inshallah. And I'm really excited for, like, I'll show you guys actually like my idea, because I haven't seen anyone do this before. I think it's a little bit extra, but because it's our first little brother, inshallah, we wanted to go a little bit extra. And Guy was like, can you show me an example of this? And I was like, no, I can't, because I haven't seen this being done before. But yeah, anyway, that will be in another video, how we told our family, inshallah. And I'm really excited to tell them, inshallah. So that's in 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks now actually, yeah. So on Thursday the 8th of June, inshallah, we will be going down to see my family for that weekend. And so we're going to tell Guy's family either the night before or on the day, and then we'll just tell them all around the same time, so that everyone is at the same time, like from the close family, right? The statistics are so high. Now, I have recently read that the further along you get in your pregnancy, like weeks wise, obviously the lower the chances are. And also when we had our early scan at 6 weeks, she was like, I see a good heartbeat, it's a strong heartbeat, and the embryo is in the right place. That's another thing, by the way, guys. We've graduated from an embryo to a fetus now, which is exciting. And like baby's maybe like this big, but it has all its organs, which is mind-blowing, subhanAllah. Like there's so much of this that just like leaves you in incredible awe of Allah's beauty. I'm feeling myself getting emotional. Like the beauty of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Insane, like absolutely insane. I don't know how you can't believe in a creator when you go through stuff like this. Like as a woman or a man or a partner, you know, wherever, seeing everything that's happening. Wow, like but yeah, alhamdulillah, we've not had like too many scary moments. I had some discharge twice and it was like dark, but I think it's all good, you know. Like, I'm not gonna overthink it, I'm not gonna over worry, because I've actually seen like loads of people on YouTube talk about the fact that they actually bled throughout their pregnancy, which that would be so terrifying. I don't even know like how you'd cope with that, like seeing like red blood and then not assuming the worst. It's just insane because it's such a normal process in terms of like, and like so many people, like literally there's probably millions of women around the world right now who are pregnant at the same time as me, but it just feels so much because it's the first time, I guess. And I think also that when you have your second or third, you've been through it before, so your body kind of knows, so you have that ease that, okay, I've done it once or done it twice, you know, inshallah, be fine. And then also you've got a little human to look after already or two little humans, so you know, like, you're busy, and I think that's why a lot of people say that the second pregnancy just like goes so much faster, as the first one it just feels a lot of a much more bigger deal, which makes sense. The thing that I didn't expect the most, aside from constipation, because literally no one talks about it, and every time I see now like pregnancy being shown on TV or in a movie and stuff, I'm like, why are they not talking about the exhaustion and the constipation? And my guy keeps laughing, he's like, babe, everyone's different. You've had that, lots of people have that, but lots of people don't have that. I'm like, I know, but I'm so sick of like just seeing like people like in a bucket and like, not talking about like, hello, where's the inclusivity with the pregnancy symptoms? Yeah, that's the thing that I like lastly wanted to touch on, was the exhaustion has been insane. I have never felt fatigue like this in my